Good morning, everybody. My name is Elizabeth. Welcome to Awaken and Flow. In this 45-minute class, we are going to do just that. We're going to start on the mat, working with our intention and some breath work, some deep breathing. And then we'll start on the mat, wake up the body, warm up the body, and then move to a flow, standing positions, sun salutations, and then we'll finish out this session with some final relaxation. So thanks for joining us, and we'll begin on the mat. You won't need any equipment for today's class, just your mat, maybe a water bottle, and if you have a yoga blanket or a beach towel that you'd like to add to your practice for a little extra cushioning, that's always welcome. So we'll begin in a comfortable seat. Allow the eyes to close and just focus in on an intention for this morning's practice. Take a deep breath in and exhale, sigh out of the mouth. One more time to seal in that intention. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. Good. As we go through this morning's class, please feel free to listen to your body and take breaks as you need to. But we'll go on and roll onto the back, planting the feet underneath the knees, just like you were going to set up for bridge pose. Taking one hand to the belly and one hand to the heart center. We're going to begin our practice this morning like we did last week with 3-part breath. Inhaling, filling up the belly. And exhale, let the belly deflate. Inhale, fill up the belly like a balloon. Exhale, feel the belly deflate. Inhale, fill up the belly. Feel it rise underneath your hand. Exhale, release that air. Adding on, inhaling into the belly and the ribs. Exhale, the ribs and the belly. Inhale, the belly and the ribs. Exhale, the ribs and the belly. Inhale, the belly and the ribs, feeling them expand up and down and out to the sides. Exhale, the ribs and the belly. Adding on, inhaling into the belly and the ribs and the chest. Exhale, the chest, the ribs, and the belly. Inhale, the belly, the ribs, and the chest. Exhale, the chest, the ribs, and the belly. Continuing this 3-part breath at your own pace. If it helps to silently say the words of the places that you're inhaling and exhaling to stay focused, incorporate that into your breathing practice. Staying focused on your breath, belly, ribs, chest, ribs, belly. Noticing if your mind starts to wander away, gently guide it back to the breath. One more deep breath in. Full breath out. Release the hands by the sides, and we'll take a cleansing breath in through the nose and a big sigh out of the mouth. Drawing the knees into the chest, wrapping the hands behind or in front of the knees. Take a deep breath in and out here. Keeping the right knee into the chest, let the left leg go long down the mat. You can keep the foot bent, or you can take it long and let it rest on the mat right here. 2 deep breaths here. And then draw the left leg back into the chest and take the right leg long down and away from you. Taking both knees back into the chest, release the feet back toward that start of bridge pose. Now take the arms long down by the sides, and I like to lift the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades behind me, and then put my back on the floor. So it just opens up the chest and brings the shoulder blades together a little bit. So from here, we'll take the arms up and overhead, inhaling, sweeping them up as far as the body says, and then exhale, let the hands float back down to the sides. Inhale, sweeping the arms up tall. Exhale, sweep the hands back down to the sides. And again, inhale, sweeping the arms up overhead. Exhale, sweep them back down. Good. 2 more times. Moving with the breath, letting the breath be the leader of the movement. And 1 more time, reaching the arms up tall. And exhale, sweep them back down. Good. Planting the hands down by the sides, press down into the feet. Lift the hips, maybe an inch or so off the floor, and then exhale, lower them back down. Pressing into the feet, lift the hips, maybe a little more this time. Exhale, lower down. A few more times, just working through your range of motion and your pace. Again, letting the breath lead the movement. Taking your time as you increase that range of motion in your bridge, waking up the posterior chain, the hamstrings, the glutes, the lower back. And on your next lift, press down into the feet, lift and hold. Press into your highest bridge of this morning, but be gentle. Think about pulling your heels toward the hips, and then tuck the tailbone so that the back of the hips look toward the backs of the knees. Just lengthening out that lower back, keeping a nice neutral curve in the lower back, in the low spine. 1 more deep breath here in this bridge. And exhale, lower the hips back to the mat. Take a deep breath in and out and pause here. And then again, press down into the feet, lift the hips. Pausing here, taking those deep breaths in and out. Keep going with your breath. Keep holding this position. 1 more deep breath. You got this. And as you exhale, lower the hips to the earth and take a cleansing breath, pausing in between bridge pose. Next, inhale. inhale, press down into the feet. Weight distributes between the shoulder blades as you lift the hips. Allow that crown of the head to lengthen toward the top of your mat, finding length in the cervical spine. And come back to those deep breaths. I know when we're at home, it's really easy to come up with all of these other things we could be doing, but just stay with this bridge pose. Stay with your yoga practice this morning. You've already committed to class. Let's stay with it. One more deep breath. Exhale, lower the hips. Good. Take your time as you draw the knees back into the chest. Give them a nice big hug. Taking the arms out to a T. Keep the knees close in toward the chest and let the knees float over to one side. Now, if you'd like to stack your props up underneath your knees or in between the knees, just to give yourself a little more space to work with, you can. And allow the shoulder blades to melt back down to the floor. Now, that may be a tomorrow pose, as when we take our knees over, sometimes our shoulder lifts up. But just work towards shimmying the shoulders back to the side and back to the floor. Taking a couple more deep breaths here. Draw the knees to center and then over to the other side. If it helps to shimmy the shoulders or the hips over to the opposite side to give yourself some room to twist, taking the knees over to the side you can. Propping yourself up with whatever props, blankets that you have nearby, if that's comfortable. Coming back to those deep breaths, noticing where the air moves a little differently when we're in this crunched up, twisted position. Drawing the knees back to center, plant the feet. And then from here, we're just gonna roll onto the belly. So roll over, and then you can shimmy yourself back on the mat. Good. Okay, so from here, take the arms long down by the sides, untuck the toes, and bring the chin or the forehead to center. Pressing down through the pubic bone, the pelvis, really, that's your foundation, so really ground down through there. As you lift just the head of the humerus, just the ball of the shoulder, where it plugs into the shoulders, the upper arms, away from the mat. And then from there you can start to lift your whole arm, the head, the chest, and then lower back down. Exhale. Inhale, lift the shoulders, the head, the chest. Exhale, lower back down. One more time, just like that. Lifting only as high as you can without the use of your hands. Exhale, lower back down. Taking the hands underneath the shoulders this time. You can use the arms a little bit, but we're going to focus on pulling the hands back to lengthen through the crown of the head. So as you inhale, press down through the pelvis, lengthen through the crown of the head, and pull the hands backwards on the mat. Find length through the spine. Exhale, lower down. 2 more times, lifting with the inhale, lowering with the exhale. 1 more time. Exhale. This time, lift into that cobra pose and pause. Be sure to keep the pelvis rooted down to the mat. And if you like, you can bring the hands forward so that the elbows come underneath the shoulders, moving into Sphinx pose. Tuck the chin in and back, keeping the back of the neck nice and long. And keep rooting down through the pelvis, lengthening the back of the legs and lengthening the tailbone down toward the backs of the knees. Deep breath in. Exhale, lower down. Good. Tucking the toes, planting the hands, and then we'll sit back to a child's pose, bringing the big toes to touch and the hips sink back toward the heels, forehead toward the mat. Breathing deeply here into the back side of the body. Bringing that focus back to those deep breaths. As you're ready, lift the hips away from the heels, tuck the toes, and make your way into a high plank position. Making sure that the hips are in line with the shoulders, so your body's in one straight, tight line. Good. Pull the lower belly in toward the spine. Press the floor away. Think about pulling the thumbs toward one another. 2 more deep breaths in this strong plank pose. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Stay with it. Exhale. Good. Lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Take a few moments to get settled here, maybe pedaling out the heels. But then as you feel ready, let's find stillness in this downward facing dog. Lifting the hips up toward the ceiling and allow the heels to melt toward the floor. Rooting down through the palms of the hands. Think about pulling the thumbs toward one another, activating those upper arms and shoulders. One more deep breath in here. And as you exhale, look toward your thumbs and take as many tiny steps as possible to make your way into that forward fold. Once you get to a place where your feet really aren't moving forward anymore, bend the knees and walk the hands back to meet the feet in a forward fold. Hands can be supported by the earth or the shins. Pressing down through the feet, bring yourself all the way up to standing. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, sigh out of the mouth. Good. We'll begin our standing postures and our flows. So step to the top of the mat. Equal weight through both feet and forward and back in the foot. Soft bend into the knees. Lower belly pulls in. Back of the tailbone looks down toward the backs of the knees. Shoulders move back and down. Inhale, float the arms up high. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift, coming up into that flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, plant the hands, step back, high plank. Exhale, lower the knees, the chest and the chin toward the earth. Inhale, slide onto the belly. Pressing the pelvis down into the mat. Lift the head and the heart, cobra pose. Exhale, lower down. Tuck the toes and make your way to downward facing dog. Looking toward the hands, tiptoe the feet forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up tall. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Stepping back to that high plank, inhale. Exhale, lower down, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, Bhujangasana, Cobra Pose. Maybe lifting the hands, giving that back a little extra challenge on the lift. Exhale, lower down, plant the hands. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, look forward, tiptoe forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up tall. Exhale, hands to heart center. Listening to your body, going at your own pace. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, high plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, Bhujangasana, heart opener. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Looking toward the hands, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up tall. Hands to heart center, adding on the next one. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, keep the fingertips on the floor, and sink back into your chair pose. Fingertips can stay touching the floor, or you can bring your hands to heart center, or arms long overhead. Good. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Hands to the floor, extend the legs, forward fold. Plant the hands, step the left foot back, spiral the back heel in and down, and cartwheel the arms open to warrior two. Good, arms are at shoulder height, planting through the feet, and then feeling that lift up through the center. Coming back to those deep breaths, they may be a little harder here as we've been moving through those up and down postures. Deep breath in. Stay with it. Nice. Cartwheel the hands forward. Step back, high plank. Exhale, move through your choice of chaturanga or knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, your choice. Back bend. Upward facing dog, tops of the feet press into the mat, bottoms of the hands press into the mat. Tuck the chin in and back. Keep the core engaged. Exhale, downward facing dog. Taking the left foot forward in between the hands. Spiral the back heel in and down. Warrior two. Arms open up to shoulder height. Gazing to the front fingertips. Shoulders relax away from the ears as best you can. As you press down and together with those feet, bring those feet toward one another for that lifting up action in the inner thighs. Stay with that deep breath, dig deep. Cartwheel the hands forward, step forward to fold. Inhale, rise up tall. Hands start center. Good, check in with your mountain pose, Tadasana. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Keep spiraling the inner thighs in and back, all the way around, keeping them active. And then bend the knees, fingertips to the earth, hands to heart center, overhead, Utkatasana, chair pose. Making sure that the knees stay behind the toes, weights mostly in the heels. Hands to the floor, forward fold. Right foot steps back. Open the arms up, warrior two. Check in with your stance here. Knee tracks over the pinky toe. You can see your big toe on the instep of that knee and the inside of the knee. Deep breaths as you hold this strong warrior pose, Virabhadrasana 2 in Sanskrit. Good, cartwheel the hands forward, step back, high plank. Exhale, lower through your flow. Chaturanga. Inhale, lift, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot steps forward in between the hands. Spiral the back heel in and down, warrior 2. Once again, deep breaths, strong pose. Keep going with it. Exhale, cartwheel the hands forward and step forward to fold. Good. Inhale, rise up tall. Hands to heart center. Taking a cleansing breath here in Tadasana, hands by the sides. Think tall, strong thoughts. Exhale, let it all go. Coming back to the mat right here. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands. Left foot goes back. Warrior 2. Just to pause here. Setting up for side angle pose. Front forearm to front thigh to begin. Hand can come to the hip or up overhead. Again, we've set up from that warrior 2 position. So knee is over the ankle and tracking in the direction as the pinky toe. Gaze can be up toward the top thumb. And then we'll bring the hand down by the side and then sweep it up over so bicep is by the ear. So we get a really nice side deep stretch from the finger all the way to the heel on that left side or whatever side is on top. Relax those shoulders, finding some softness and then being grounded in this position. Take one more deep breath. Exhale. Good. Floating back up, warrior 2. Take your time and then extend through that front leg. Hinge forward, front hand to front shin, triangle pose, Trikonasana. If your hand is on the shin, think about pulling up on the shin. So you really grab and pull so you're starting to engage through the abdominals, the obliques, the lats. Keep breathing. On your next inhale, engage through the core as you pull yourself back up tall. Very good. Bring all 10 toes to look forward so you're on the wide, long side of your mat. And the toes are a little more in than the heels as they point toward the long edge of the mat. Hands to the hips. Pull the legs in toward one another. Keep spiraling the thighs in as you forward fold. Once you get to a spot that you want to stop, hands come to the floor. 2 blocks, chair. Keeping the spine and neck in neutral, gaze straight down toward the floor, and keep engaging through the glutes and hamstrings. Exhale, begin to forward fold, crown of the head toward the mat. Hands can stay firmly planted under the shoulders, or you can reach back for those ankles. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the floor. Bring the hands to the hips, engage through the legs, and stand all the way up tall. Now we're going the other way. So I stepped my left foot back at the beginning, so I'm going to turn my left foot out toward the short end of the mat, and then bend and make my way into warrior 2. So you should be on the other side this time. We're doing side angle and triangle pose the other way. So setting up strong in your foundation, front forearm to front thigh for side angle pose. Begin with the arm reaching up toward the ceiling. Finding that strong position. And then you can take the hand to the side and sweep it up overhead, bicep by the ear, getting that really nice side stretch. Perfect for morning time. Coming back to the breath. Really dig deep in this pose. Staying strong through the foundation of the legs. Full breath in and out. And then come back up, warrior two. Extend through the front knee. Hinge forward, hand to shin, Trikonasana. Now remember, you can always take your hand up above the knee and then make your way below the knee as you feel more comfortable, as you open up in the hamstring. Gaze can be up toward the top thumb, or find a more neutral position for the neck. Taking the shin and pulling up to really engage through those abdominals, obliques, lats. And then as you're ready, pull yourself back up tall. Good. Again, take all 10 toes to look toward the long side of the mat, hands to the hips, and wide-legged forward fold. Take the hands to the mat, underneath the shoulders when you get there. So we're going to stay in this halfway lift position, bringing the left hand in between, kind of in the equal space between the feet and underneath the shoulder. And then the opposite hand is going to reach up toward the ceiling for a little twist. Top hand comes down to the floor, and then we'll replace that hand that's on the floor and then switch directions. Inhale and exhale. Top hand comes back to the floor. Engage those legs, activate the glutes and hamstrings. Pull those hands up to the waist and come back up tall. Good. Pivot back to the first side. Warrior two shape. And then cartwheel the hands forward and step forward to fold. So we're back at the top of the mat in a nice forward fold. Separate the feet about hip distance apart. You can use two fists as kind of the distance marker that helps you get there, but you can always adjust from there. Allow the head to release. And then maybe grabbing opposite elbows for ragdoll. Releasing the hands, slowly come back all the way to Tadasana, that standing mountain pose. Cleansing breath here. So we're going to work a little more balance for our standing postures before we make our way back down to the mat. So we worked on Warrior 3 last week, and we're going to practice again. So shift the weight. First find your balance, find your stance in the center, and find a gazing point, a drishti, a spot on the floor or the wall that's not going to move, that you can just kind of stare at and gaze at. So find that spot. And then shift the weight over to the right foot, drawing the left knee up toward the chest. We're going to kick that foot forward, reaching the arms forward with it. So just take that leg as high up as you can, keeping the legs straight. This one gets really tricky here. So really hold, really firing up those thighs, those quads. Inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to sweep that leg back into Warrior 3. Arms can stay forward or they can sweep back with you. This is the part where you want to keep going. If you come out of the pose, just take your time getting back into it. There's no rush. Keeping the core engaged and keeping that foot firmly planted. Stay with the breath. Stay here. Keep going. From here, we're making our way to lunge. So take one more deep breath. Exhale, bend that standing leg and let that back leg come down to the mat. Good. Arms can be up, down by the sides, at heart center. Take 3 deep breaths in the standing crescent lunge. Anjaneyasana. As you exhale, we'll take the hands to the floor. Add a twist here. You can lower the back knee if you choose. Plant the foot, and then we're going to twist toward that knee. So you can plant the hand on the knee, or you can open the arm up tall. Keep that back leg really strong, leg extended. Deep breath in. And as you breathe out, top hand comes to the floor. And step back if you'd like, optional flow. Or we can all meet in downward facing dog. Good. Looking toward the top of the mat, toward the hands. Walk, step, or float the feet forward. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up tall, mountain pose. Good. Find your drishti, your focal point. Shift the weight to the left foot. Right foot comes up. Exhale, extend the arms and the foot forward as high as you can and hold it there. Lower belly zips up, keep it tight. Shoulders roll down. Inhale. And exhale, we're sweeping or pendulum swinging as slowly as we can into warrior 3, that capital T shape. Arms can sweep back. Keep the standing leg firm, the extended leg firm. Stay with it. You can do it. You've committed this much of your time to this practice. Keep going. Deep breath in. And as you breathe out, we're making our way to Crescent Lunge. Stay strong through that back leg, strong through the front leg. Legs can get tired at this point, but stay with it. You can do it. Exhale, hands frame the front foot. And then twist toward that knee. 3 deep breaths right here. Stay strong through both legs. Don't let them go by the wayside and make your arms do all the work. Keep your legs engaged. Good, hands to the floor. Step back, optional flow. We're all gonna meet on our bellies when we're done. Locust pose, Shalabhasana. Kind of like we did at the beginning of class, but this time we're going to add the leg lift to this one. So, chin or forehead to center, press down through the pelvis. Lift the head of the humerus up and away from the mat, and then begin to lift the arms as well. Pressing down through the pelvis, lift the head, the chest, and the thighs away from the mat. Spiral the thighs, the inner thighs up toward the ceiling, and then draw the feet a little closer together. Don't lose focus, keep pressing the pelvis down. That's your foundation. That's where the strength comes from. Exhale, lower down, good. Take one cheek to the mat and rest here. We've got time for one more Shalabhasana or bow pose. So you can do the same shape that we did. or you can add on, and I'll cue for that, bringing the head or the chest to center, the head and forehead to center. Press down through the pelvis, bend the knees. Lift the shoulders, the arms, and the thighs. Maybe you reach back in space and try to reach for those ankles, or if they just kind of come naturally, just grab the ankles, press into the hands, pressing the ankles into the hands as you lift up for bow, or stay in Shalabhasana. Three strong breaths. Keeping the neck in neutral, tuck the chin in and back. No need to crane the neck up or even down. Stay with it. One more deep breath and exhale, release. Taking the other cheek to the mat. If you like, you can windshield wiper the heels side to side or bend the knees, and then slower than you think you can, windshield wiper the heels side to side. Releasing the feet. Plant the hands. Sit back for child's pose, a nice counter pose to those heart openers. Letting your hands just kind of rest wherever they want to be. And allow your breath to become a little easier, a little shallower as we begin to wind down our practice. Walking the hands up, sweeping the legs around, and we'll make our way onto our back again. Drawing the knees into the chest. Any little side to side rocks or happy baby poses that you'd like, go on and take those now as we prepare for final relaxation. I invite you to take whatever comfortable shape you'd like for final relaxation. If you're in your bedroom and your bed's close by, don't get in the bed. But I like to plop my shins or my calves up on the bed if it's the right height, and just kind of let my legs be supported by the top of the bed, and then the backs of the knees can come to the corner, so then your legs are kind of elevated. That's sometimes a nice position. If you're not, you can always come to any other position, maybe a pose like we began, bridge, or traditional legs extended long, arms extended long by the sides. From your relaxed position, begin to close the eyes or keep them soft. And let go of any forced breath. Just letting the breath be easy, maybe shallow. As you soften the belly. As you let the torso melt down into the earth. As if you were on a nice sandy beach. Letting the hips make little imprints, the shoulders make imprints in the sand. Letting the legs feel heavy in the sand. Letting the arms relax, muscular tension. And let them be supported by the soft earth. Letting go of thoughts. Acknowledging them like the clouds in the sky. And then just bring your attention back to relaxation. begin to weight the body back up, wiggling the fingers and the toes. Drawing the knees into the chest. And really take your time as you make your way back up to a comfortable seat. Taking a big cleansing breath. Inhale through the nose. And exhale, close the practice with a big sigh. Thank you all for joining me in Awaken and Flow. My name's Elizabeth again. Namaste. Have a great rest of your day. And be sure to follow us on Instagram and check out all of our other amazing instructors on Instagram Live. We're also doing a live stream giveaway, so check the Instagram for the rules on the giveaway. Thanks again. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.